You're watching Local News Network Durango. I'm Wendy Graham-Settle. The La Plata Electric Association Board of Directors voted earlier this month to ask its energy supplier, Tri-State Generation and Transmission, for a price to buy out its contract with the member-owned cooperative. La Plata Electric is one of 43 distribution cooperatives in Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, and New Mexico that owns Tri-State Generation. La Plata Electric currently is under contract to purchase its electrical power from Tri-State through the year 2050. The contract includes the price of electrical energy as well as paying off the debt that Tri-State incurred when it built its current coal-fired power plants and transmission lines. Earlier this year, 2 studies indicated that La Plata Electric conceivably could leave the Tri-State Cooperative and purchase a reliable source of renewable energy at a lower cost than it currently pays Tri-State for its mix of coal and sustainable energy sources. Now, the board is diving deep into the numbers.
We are at a point in the process of trying to figure out if this would be a good or a bad thing to buy out of Tri-State, and as we go down basically a 2-part path. One is, what does it cost to leave Tri-State to fulfill our obligations with Tri-State? And then what would it cost to replace the energy and the power that we get from somebody other than Tri-State, from the market? And in that balance, could we afford to do that to meet our members' goals?
While Tri-State produces 30% of its energy from renewable resources, Tri-State currently limits the amount of renewable energy that its member cooperatives can produce to 5% of their total energy consumption. However, the LPEA board has set as a goal to reduce its use of carbon-based energy by 50% by the year 2030, while keeping consumer prices at 70% of peer cooperatives. Under its current contract with Tri-State, LPEA cannot meet that goal.
The reason why we had such a long-term agreement is much like when we mortgaged to buy a house. Back in the day when the electric grid was being built and generation was being built, the technology required an extreme amount of investment to build the power plants, whether it was natural gas or if it was a hydro dam or a coal-fired power plant like in Tri-State's position. So much like a 30-year mortgage, it was a long-term contract to secure purchases from those plants so they could afford to build those power plants for us. And that's the reason why we have a long-term agreement today.
Negotiations to exit Tri-State may be complicated by the energy supplier's recent move to seek regulation oversight from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission rather than the 4 state public utilities commissions that oversee its operations. The Tri-State member cooperatives voted 40-3 for the proposal. Only La Plata Electric, United Power in Brighton, Colorado, and the Delta Montrose Cooperative voted against the request. If the state and federal agencies concur, small cooperatives may be forced to spend far more to challenge Tri-State's decisions in Washington, D.C. than they would if they worked with state regulatory agencies.
And the concern we have, and others, United and probably Delta Montrose, not speaking for them necessarily, is the cost just to even engage FERC could be substantially more, just because it's in Washington, D.C., it's a larger federal organization, and the lawyers and stuff around the FERC world is a little more intense.
Meyer declined to say how much earlier studies have estimated a buyout would cost LPEA because the figure is subject to contract negotiations. In the meantime, a lot can change between now and when the LPEA board makes a decision on whether to leave Tri-State. New Mexico has set a goal of purchasing 100% carbon-free electricity by 2045, and Colorado's Climate Action Plan includes a goal to move the state to 100% renewable energy by 2050.
I mean, Tri-State is a very strong partner in our relationship even today. And they are changing. They're bringing on more renewables. They have the policy goals in New Mexico with their carbon-free initiatives, and I don't remember the exact numbers or the year. And Colorado's adopting our own carbon-free initiatives beyond at the state level. So Tri-State has to meet those goals anyhow. So they are having to evolve themselves. Can they do it fast enough at a cost that meets our needs is the real question for us right now today.
If you want to follow this issue, visit lpea.coop. Thanks for watching this edition of Local News Network Durango. If you liked this story and want to watch it again, visit our website at durangotv.com, where you'll also find an archive of our past stories. You may also catch us on Durango Cable Channel 15 or on one of the many digital signs located around town. I'm Wendy Graham Settle for Local News Network Durango.